Hey everyone, it's Mama Does Nails and welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing? I hope everyone's having an amazing day. Now, I have put in the title a trigger warning, and that's just because I am being considerate for anyone who has gone through what I'm about to talk about, or anyone who is actually going through it currently right now. So I am putting a trigger warning on this video for anyone who has an angel baby. I am doing nails in the background, as you can see. This is not my normal nail set. This is not dedicated to any brand. I'm just using whatever I want. This is coming from my heart. It was a last minute decision because we normally release balloons, and I know I did something last year. I did a collab with my nail sisters, but this year it was really like the spur of the moment, and especially when I found out that my Bella wasn't even a rainbow baby. So before I tell you about my story, I will just clarify. I found out that the baby that I lost, that was a medical termination, is actually an angel baby. So I have 3 living children, and Bella would have been probably the third, or she would have been baby number 3, or we would have gone on and had, I don't know if we would have carried on having kids had Bella lived. So my eldest is 28. I always talk about him. Then I had my next son. So he is actually a sunshine baby. And he's a sunshine baby because the baby I had after him, I lost, which was my angel baby. So the sunshine baby is the one that you have before a baby that's lost, basically. And the baby after the baby I lost is my rainbow baby, which is my nugget. So I have a sunshine baby, an angel baby, and a rainbow baby. And I know to some people maybe it doesn't mean anything. Maybe I don't know, it sounds trivial, but to anyone who's gone through something like this, it really means a lot to you. So I really felt like I had to clarify that because it was bugging me out. Okay, so now I have clarified that because I recently found out, as I said, it prompted me now to do a set that would reflect my sunshine baby, my angel baby, and my rainbow baby. So that's what I set out to do. So I came this morning to my table really, really early. It is the 29th of April today, and it is Bella's anniversary. And we will release some balloons later. So I hope the balloons fly away because normally they do fly, and sometimes she just stays around, doesn't want to fly away. But I will try and get something on camera today and hopefully add it to this video. So I'm going to do the voiceover and everything, get the video edited, and so if I get that, I can just add it to the video and upload it so it can go live today. I have been feeling all sorts of emotion today. Had Bella lived, she would have been 12. Now, going back now 12 years, when I found out I was pregnant, I was already nearly 5.5 months pregnant. And before that, I was noticing, like, it was almost like I'm incontinent. I'm wetting myself. So I went to my GP, which is like, what we call the doctors out here in UK. And I told her, I said, look, this is happening. She advised me to wear a panty liner because I suffer with fibroids anyway. So she said, maybe it's putting pressure on your bladder. So I went with that and was monitoring it. It wasn't even a week after that. I was in the kitchen with my partner and there was just this gush. Now, if you've had a kid and your waters have broken, it literally is like that. But there was no There was nothing. It was just psh. And we looked at each other and he just like, did you just wet yourself? I said, I don't think so, because I didn't feel anything happening. I don't think I wet myself. I said, but you know, I looked and I was just confused, basically. So um I went back to the doctors at this point. Now, from what I could see, it was on the tiles, so it's clear. And at this time, I was not drinking as much water as I'm drinking now, so I know there's no way my urine would have been that clear. That's just me being honest. So I went back to the doctors the next day, had an emergency appointment. I said, look, I don't know what this is, but I'm now wearing a sanitary towel because the amount of liquid that came out isn't for a panty liner. So then she said to me, is there any chance that you could be pregnant? I don't know. Maybe. I just had to tell off the sunshine baby because he was making a lot of noise. So I said, yeah, there could be a possibility. Um, I'm not using any contraceptives. So yeah, there could be a possibility. So she said, okay, let's do a pregnancy test. It was positive. Now at this point, I still was not even putting two and two together, but she clearly was. And so she sent me immediately to go to the early pregnancy unit. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe because of all my history, that's the reason why there is this rush. So, my partner and I went down there. They saw me. Immediately, I had a scan. The heartbeat was so strong. We were looking at each other like all this time there was a baby in here. We had no idea. So now I am excited because I can hear the heartbeat. I'm thinking, okay, we're going to do this. Then the look on the midwife's face changed. She turned the screen. So I'm sitting up now thinking, like, what's going on? So my partner's also looking at her, looking at me, and he's got his hand on my shoulder, like to say, it's all right, just calm down. I'm sure she'll tell us. So she's like, I just need to get my colleague to come in and have a look at something. Colleague came in, had a look, they whispered. They also did a scan. I was still in the room, but, they run the machine around the stomach to see the ultrasound. And then they needed to call the doctor. So at this point now, my heart must have been beating out my chest because I was feeling all sorts of emotions. Um, Consultant came in. He also did the whole thing, went around. And then I was told to get dressed. I needed to go to another scanning machine. So now I've gone to this HD 3D scanning machine where they can see more things and monitor different things. And that's where we found out that the baby was not growing, that I had a big hole in the sac. So that liquid was literally the amniotic fluids, and the whole wear a panty liner. I was losing fluids daily. And now at this point, the hole was so big that even though your body makes more fluids, it just wasn't enough. So now my baby, her limbs were all seized. There was no movement and she wasn't taking in any fluids. So you can imagine. So I'm in total utter shock because I'm just like, no, no, no. This cannot be right. I just heard the baby's heartbeat, and the midwife downstairs said the baby's heartbeat's really strong. And, the doctor was trying to explain something to me, and I was stuck on this point. And, my partner had to sort of say, look, let's see what they're saying. So now at this point, they're saying all this stuff like, life expectancy, chances of survival, complications during birth, after birth, you know, and it was so much information that day. I left that hospital deflated. Now, I was given like 2 days. So this was like a Monday. And I had 2 days for myself and my partner for us to decide what we were going to do. Now, Sunshine Baby was about 2 at the time. And obviously, two can't really do nothing for himself. My eldest was about 16, and my partner's other two kids, yeah, they were older, but still at home, we were just thinking about everything. The quality of life, importantly, for, our baby, what would be her quality of life? And the whole thing about not surviving longer than 2 minutes, and if even surviving beyond 2 minutes, just lifelong complications. So none of her limbs were developed because there was no amniotic fluid. So everything was seized. So there was no chance of mobility. The lungs were not developed. There would have been heart problems further down. It was literally everything. Even the brain, he said, most likely would not be developed. So there wasn't any, we were not hearing anything positive at this point. So, as I said, over the 2 days, my partner and I spoke and spoke. I don't even think we really slept. We stayed up all night. We were just talking for like 2 days because an appointment had been made for me already on Wednesday. So if I decided and my partner decided to, end the pregnancy, I would have to go in on the Wednesday. I would have to have an injection. Um, and then 2 days after that, I'll go into labor. So that's all the information I went home with. And I couldn't even talk to anyone about it because it was like, on one hand, I just found out I'm pregnant. On the other hand, this is happening. You haven't even said to people, hey, I'm pregnant, much less, hey, this is what's going to happen. So it was just myself and my partner that really knew at this time. We couldn't talk to anybody else. It was hard. So Wednesday came, and we had decided we were going to end the pregnancy because we couldn't find not one positive. And we thought about everybody, all the kids, the baby, ourselves, our family, everything, like brutally honest. So on the Wednesday of my appointment, I've gone in, and it was in the morning, and the procedure was done using an ultrasound, and it really didn't take that long. Everything was already set up. I got in the room, they done another scan. um I just remember the needle was so long, like, I mean, huge, like, just long. But I understand only now, why it was so long. So I laid down, he explained what they were going to do. um and that needle went in, so I couldn't look. It was painful and emotional at the same time, because I'm telling you, within 30 seconds, I felt the life leave my body. I felt her die. And this is why I have to put a trigger warning on this video, because I really did. I felt her pass. Before I even left the hospital, you know, I broke down, and I asked the doctor, and he said, yeah. He said, it's quite possible there have been women in the past who have said the same thing. And I didn't even know what to do, because now I felt weird, because I'm going home, but my baby's dead inside me. And I don't even think I prepared myself for that. It's like I was still in the other stage of going to do the procedure. I can't even tell you what happened on Wednesday night, Thursday. But I do know Friday morning I woke up in pain. Now, they had to give me medication which was going to induce labor. And when I get to the hospital, they were going to give me something to also help the cervix to dilate. So I woke up Friday morning, April 29th, and I felt contraction pains. And it's weird because I knew that she died literally on Wednesday. We're in Friday. I'm feeling the pain, and there's still this part of me that thinking she's alive. And I went through this little stage where I was just like, I don't think I've done the right thing. I want to change my mind. I want to rewind time. Why did I do this? I'm questioning my faith because I'm saying, but I believe in God. So if I believe in God, why did I listen to the scientists? What if God could have, done a miracle and she survived, and all of this was just history? You know, it was now too late to even go back. So all of that was just me. I was beating up myself, and you know, I didn't even want to go into the hospital, but we had to because I'm now in labor. So I called up the number, told them, they asked how long the contractions were apart. I told them, they said, all right, look, come. Now, because of what was going to happen, I was given a whole suite, myself and my partner. We had a whole suite. Um, and even when I got there, I just kept thinking, miracle could happen. I can't even lie. I'm telling you, I was in the biggest denial. So I changed and everything, and, got on the bed. Then the midwives came and introduced themselves. And while that was going on, there was lots of like cheering and excitements. And that was literally because Prince William and Kate got married on that same day. So everybody else is celebrating this royal wedding, like in the pubs, on the streets. They were like, it was just like so deserted. There was literally nothing happening. But even in the hospital, there was lots because it was televised, so I could hear the TVs. Now my room was just quiet, but you can hear the sound outside. And as I said, they introduced themselves and everything. Then they told me that they were gonna hook me up to some morphine. I've never had morphine. I've always had gas and air for my other three children. Um, and again, I didn't understand why I was having morphine. And I was just thinking for some reason maybe this was going to be more painful. I'm still not even, in touch with the fact that, look, this is happening. You're in labor. You're about to deliver your dead baby. Like, I was not communicating that, and they've strapped me onto the morphine now. It's starting to go in my system. I'm feeling woozy. I can still feel contractions. I can still hear them, the laughing and laughter and cheering and all that stuff. Because as I said, they televised this the whole day. And they were going around different pubs in the UK that were also celebrating the royal wedding. So it was just us all I could hear. And by the sort of like mid-afternoon, I remember the pain had got so much worse. The sun was shining outside, but when I think I was getting closer to labor, they closed the blinds. And when I started to get the feeling, and she said, we're going to start getting you to push, I still was hoping for a miracle because I'm not still connecting the two. So, getting a contraction, pushing, they had me strapped to this morphine. It was just intravenously going in my vein, and I was just feeling more and more woozy. And I get like sickness with morphine, so they were giving me that, and they were giving me the anti-sickness. And it was just like getting to the point, it was just really, really, really hurting. And I saw the other two midwives come in. They'd brought the bowl. Things were changing now, so I knew it was getting closer. So she said, we're going to turn you around and get you on your on your knees, and you're going to face the head of the bed, and we're going to get you to push. And I must have been in that position for about half an hour. And with the morphine in my system, I was so disorientated. I just remembered the part where it was almost like the final push, and I did feel the pressure sort of leaving your body. and they were gone. And being on the morphine, by the time I slowly was assisted to kind of turn around on my back now, I'm looking around and I'm saying, how comes the baby isn't crying and what's going on? And, I remember just thinking, why isn't the baby crying? Like the morphine was, I don't know how much, I was on morphine, literally, it felt like from the morning. So I was so super drowsy, like my body wants to sleep, but I'm trying to stay awake. And that moment between them taking the baby away and coming back felt like an eternity. And when she came back, you know, I remember saying, what was the sex of the baby? Like I heard the words before she said it. And she was like, it was a little girl. And it just crushed me. I wouldn't wish it on my son. But I don't know, that just I was finished at that point. I mean, my partner, he held onto my hand so tight. We felt that. And she said she was going to give me some time, you know, to get ready. And it was weird because I was getting ready to put my clothes on again. So I did that. The blinds were still closed, and an hour must have passed. They brought me a sandwich and a hot drink, my partner too. So we ate. And now I'm just like, so what next? What's happening? So she said, we can bring the baby in for you to see and, spend some time with her and say your final goodbyes if you're up for it. My partner looked at me and I was just like, yeah, and I can't leave and not see. How I can't do that. So they said okay. So we'd finished eating and there was like a little table in front of where we were sitting. And when they opened the door, I could see her carrying a little basket. It was almost like a fruit basket, like, and she placed it like the basket on the table in front of me. And the baby was swaddled. And then she asked me if I was ready. So I said, yeah. So she turned it round and, moved the blankets and stuff. And I saw my baby girl. She had a full head of hair. She was like a variant of me. She had dimples. Her eyes were closed and she was just beautiful. And I sat there for like 2.5 hours just looking at her, just wrapped up, like, because now, the impending thought of going home and not being able to take her was dawning on me. And, my partner kept saying to me, we've left our 16-year-old at home with the 2-year-old and it's been the whole day. We weren't even really sure if the family member that was supposed to reach out did. We're now thinking about food because I hadn't thought about that the whole day. I didn't want to go. And the midwives came in and said, if I was okay and if I wanted pictures done. I was like, no. I just, everything was no at this point. So she said to me, what we tend to do is take pictures and we leave them in your medical record. And if you ever want them, just phone up and request. So I was like, okay. Didn't think I was ever going to do that. Um, I had nearly 3 hours with her, just looking at her, literally just looking at her, just holding that basket, just looking at her. She was perfect. We left. When I came out of that room, I started to hear babies crying. And it felt weird. I wanted to almost turn back like I've forgotten something. Like, I said to my partner, like, you mean we're going to come in here and we're just going to leave with nothing? Like, literally leave with nothing. I didn't even know how I was going to go home. And I'm telling you honestly, I didn't want to see my little man at home. I didn't want to see my 16-year-old. I just wanted to go to a space on my own. Like, it was, I don't want to do this. And my partner was just like, look, we've got to think about the other kids and blah, blah, blah. And I just was like, no, like, how are you comprehending this? And got the taxi, went home. Through that whole corridor, I saw fathers coming upstairs with the car seats. I saw people that had been discharged going home with their baby. I saw people who were pregnant. And I just walked out of there. No one knows what's happening. Just walked out. Nobody knows what's happened. Like, it was just, I just wanted to blink and be back in my house under my bed, the covers. And when we got home, I just broke down immediately. And, my partner was like, please, please, please just try and hold out a bit, because obviously the kids are going to be anxious. And, my 16-year-old he started crying. He just hugged me. And 2-year-old didn't know what was going on. He was okay. And, my 16-year-old had cooked. I remember he cooked it was like a barbecue chicken legs, and he made pasta. I don't even remember if I ate that night, but he cooked and his brother ate and he looked after him. He gave him his bath. That family member never reached out. Um, but God is good. And it was crazy, because from that point, I felt like I was in a little bit of depression, and I didn't know how to process it. They did offer grief counseling. So fast forward 2 years, I woke up one morning and it felt like the day. So I went searching, looking for this number, called them up. They made an appointment and I went down. I didn't want anyone there. I just wanted to be there on my own. I wanted to just do this on my own. So my partner agreed, and I think he suspected something, and that's why he let me do it, because of what I was talking about. I've got there, there was a grief counselor in there, and she was so sympathetic. She explained, you know, about emotions. She was just talking about different things and gave me leaflets. She had the file. She asked me if I was ready. I said yes. She handed me the envelope. I just had to pause a minute and just, you know, compose myself, because I have the remembrance acknowledgement they give you. Born 29/04/11 and died 29/04/11. So it's like both her birthday and date of her death. It says in small proportions. Ooh. Sorry, just gets emotional. But yeah, so if I told you that when I sat with Bella, because we named her Bella, I saw a baby at full term. She had hair. Her face was fully developed. I could see her features. I mean, if you took out pictures, I could say that's her. Honestly, that's what I saw. And when I was talking to my partner about it the day, that's what I mean. He knew I couldn't see what he could see. He saw exactly the reality I didn't. God is good, because I'm telling you, he must have known I wasn't ready, because what I saw was a fully developed baby. So I was confused. I'm like, her hair, her dimples, her nose. like everything. Hands, you know. But when I looked at those photos 2 years later, I mean, when I broke down in there, the woman, I said to her, "This is what?" And she's like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Wow." I said I was given an absolutely different vision that day. I saw her full term, like fully developed. I didn't see this. This was my first time. And you know, when I went back home, he already knew. I was like, "Babe, how did I not see? How did I not see?" It just, it blew me away. It blew me away. But, you know, as I said, God is good. And sometimes I think when you need a miracle, you don't know what kind of miracle you need. It will just happen. And yeah, you know, if they're not pictures that I can share with you and online, I just would not do that to her memory. I really wish that I could have. But that's why this video was really, really important to me, because knowing that she's my angel baby, and knowing that the baby before the angel baby is a sunshine baby, and then my nugget who we had after our angel baby is our rainbow baby. So this set, I really, really, really wanted to just bring everything together. It's just a display set. It was a set made from an expression. It wasn't, there was no, I didn't have a vision like, okay, this is my, I don't know, inspiration, nothing. My inspiration was simply because I have a sunshine baby, I have an angel baby, and a rainbow baby, and there is a difference. And it, that's really all there is to it. So I hope hearing about my story has helped someone, yourself or someone you know. It's one of the hardest things I've honestly, and I have had miscarriages, but I'm telling you, this one, nothing prepares you for it. It's so quick. It was so rapid, you know, and we're gonna blow some balloons. And as I said, hopefully I am gonna film it, and I'm hoping that the balloons go up to the sky, because I would like to add that to the video. But I just want to take this time, everyone, to just say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I know it is a slightly longer video, but I felt like I just wanted to tell my full story of what happened. And I hope you enjoy the set. It's just something little I did. I did do all the bling and everything off camera because the video had already gone on to an hour. So I, you know, just kept it the way I kept it. I put lots of feathers and butterflies. I had a rainbow charm from Nails and Tails Official, so thank you so much, sweetheart. I actually used that, and some yellow stones, and like I said, that I just needed that to transcend, and I'm happy with it. I didn't do this set for anyone. I did it for me. Yeah, I did it for me. But yeah, I love you all. I thank you so much for listening, and thank you for watching, and thank you to all my new subscribers, all my existing subscribers. You already know it's always love, always been love, and you know, welcome to the channel. Please, please, please keep your bells on, and notification bells, that is, so you can catch me when I upload any videos or shorts, because sometimes I go short crazy. But yeah, I'm Mama Does Nails, and I love you all. Thank you so much for all your love. Thank you for listening. Please give me a like. And if you aren't subscribed, I hope after watching this video, you know, you love my vibes and you join the family. I'm going to stop the video here and I'm hopefully going to get the whole releasing of the balloons. So we're going to blow them up now, and then we're going to release them, and I'm going to release this video today. Mwah. Mama Does Nez is out. Bye, everyone.
Happy birthday, Bella.
Happy birthday, Bella.
Happy birthday, Bella. Resting up and enjoying your day.
Yes, rest well in heaven, princess.
Yeah, this ain't going well.
Oh, come on.